What up, what up, what up, everybody? What's going on? What's good? What's cracking, everybody? We back for another one. Back for another one. It's the remix. What's everybody up to tonight, man? Hope everybody's good. Somebody drop me a comment. Hit that like button for me. Let me know the sound's working good. You know, y'all can hear me. We can go and get started. A lot of big news, man, going on right now. A lot of big news surrounding Pacquiao. A lot of names coming up. A lot of big fights possibly coming up. Hopefully not the fights nobody wants to see. Hopefully they are the fights everybody want to see. Appreciate that like, man. Whoever hit the like button, man. Appreciate that. We went for a long one last night, man. I don't know how long I'm going to go tonight. I'm kind of tired, but I'm going to try to get through the little bit of news I got today. As far as Manny Pacquiao goes. Give a couple minutes for see if anybody comes into the chat. We got a couple people in here. Got a few people in here. What's good with you? What's good with you? Hit that like button as you come in. Drop me a comment, please. We can go ahead and get started. Been going through articles all day. Talking to a few people that I know that are close to what's going on in the Philippines, and they follow Manny Pacquiao's career just as closely as I do. So a lot of news coming out right now, man. People saying Pacquiao versus Mikey. I'm hearing a bit about that, but I don't know yet, man, because Mikey's kind of out of shape. So I was going to reference Mikey too, man. There's some articles out about Mikey and a few other fighters that potentially could match up with Pacquiao. So I want to reference that. That was me, LOL. I appreciate you hitting that like button, Pat. I really appreciate that, man. Yes, y'all come through. Try to hit the like button for me, man, so we can get this out to more people. We can let everybody, all the Pacquiao fans, know what's the latest news surrounding Manny Pacquiao's next fight. Anybody in the chat heard anything new so far? He did say legacy fight, so it's probably not Mikey. I would agree with that, man, because, you know, he's a decent fight, but it's not a legacy adding fight. Nothing about Mikey Garcia is going to add to Manny Pacquiao's legacy. Unfortunately for him, he's just not at that level yet. He'll probably get there one day. You know, he's only had 2 fights at 147, so it's going to take him a while to get to the point where his name is worth mentioning. He might have to win a title or something first. But I guess we can go ahead and start with Mikey Garcia. So I was going through some articles today, and there was an article by SB Nation. And the title of that article, I will let y'all see it. Eventually here, I'm going to start sharing stuff to the screen during the live streams, man. But I got to get all that set up, and I got to get all my overlays and everything ready. But eventually, I'll have more content you can actually see on the screen while I'm live streaming. So be looking forward to that. Mikey Garcia talks possible Pacquiao fight. Old issues with Errol and top rank welterweight targets and more. So the article starts out, the former 4-division titleist is staying at 147 and says those who want him to move down don't see the big picture. So this is coming straight from Mikey Garcia. They said he had an interview with PBC podcast the other day, which I missed. I didn't get to see it. But they said he opened up a lot about his situation with Bob Arum and who his potential fights are going to be. Patrick Carter says probably GGG. I can see it being Triple G, man. I can see it either being Triple G, Crawford, or Spence, with a sprinkle of you guys in there. You know, I know everybody says the you guys fight is not gonna happen because, and we're gonna reference you guys later. So I guess I'll just hold off on my you guys talk for now. We'll finish up this Mikey Garcia article, but Triple G is an interesting fight, man. I really like that fight for Pacquiao. Mikey Garcia was guest on this week's edition of PBC podcast and went in deep on his old issues with Bob Arum and Top Rank, which came up again recently. Plus, staying at welterweight, where the situation is with the Manny Pacquiao fight. He's known, to want and what he might be doing. The Manny Pacquiao fight, he's known to want. Okay, he's known to want. What he's doing next. I don't have a fight, but it's part of just getting in shape. I haven't been in the gym in a long time, and I just felt like it's time to go get back in there, start getting in shape. I'm there 3 times a day, there 3 days out of the week. I'm doing some conditioning 2 days out of the week. I'm doing the boxing. It's just to not burn myself out. If I go too hard, I'll probably kill myself, and then I wouldn't want to go back. I'm easing into it. So with that being said, I don't see Mikey Garcia being his next fight. If he's even talking like, hey, I'm out of shape, it's gonna take me a little while to get back in shape. I don't see the Mikey Garcia fight playing out right now. But to me, Crawford and Spence not a legacy fight. Why you don't think Crawford or Spence is a legacy fight? I mean, if he beats either one of them, he'll gain. I mean, if he beats Spence, he can say he beat a 2-time champion. If he beats Crawford, he can say, hey, I beat another champion. If he beats both of them, he can say, hey, I'm the unified champion. So it would add to his legacy. Maybe not as much as a Triple G fight would. I think a Triple G fight, because he would be going for that ninth division, there's a little bit more. I guess that he would it would cement his name a little bit more in the legend books if he was to beat Triple G. Bobby Rick, how isn't Crawford and Spence not Al? Not Al evacuated fight, LOL. I don't know what you meant by that. Because Crawford resume bunk, no achievement. Because his resume is bunk. Is that what you're trying to say? Legacy fight. Who Bobby Rick, who's the best legacy fight for Pacquiao right now? I don't know what you mean by how isn't Crawford and Spence not Al I don't understand what you're trying to say there. But let me move on, man. So Mikey Garcia is not going to be his next fight. Mikey Garcia is just out of shape right now, man. Bobby Rick, Spence is the best legend fight right now for his legacy. I think it is. I think it would be. I misspelled my bad. I was trying my best to whoa, what is it? I man, I must be real sleepy if I can't read this word. But yeah, I think if he beats Spence or Crawford, it would be amazing for his legacy. But if he beat both of them, it would be spectacular. I think he would have to beat both of them to equal up to a Triple G fight, or he would to equal up to like a Canelo fight. But I mean, either one of those guys would add to his legacy if he beat him. But let's move on, man. Let's go on to the next articles. There are a lot of articles that came out today that I wanted to touch on. Manny Pacquiao next fight. Who will be the opponent for favorites and a big wild card dark horse? It's come from SB Nation as well, and I just want to reference SB Nation real fast. With Manny Pacquiao back in training and promising big news coming soon, the global sporting icon and bona fide boxing legend is back in the spotlight. Now Pacquiao, 42, 62-7, 239 KOs, is still a top-tier star in the sport and still look like a hell of a good fighter. When he last saw him When we last saw him, that was a while ago, sure, but there's nobody near his weight who want to fight Manny Pacquiao. That said, we've got 4 top options for some of the lower chance possibilities and 1 big dark horse pick for Manny Pacquiao's next fight. Alright, so they got Terrence Crawford, a fight with WBO title holder Crawford, 37-0, 28 KOs, was close to getting made last year, at least according to Bob Arum, who currently promotes the 33-year-old Crawford, and promoted Pacquiao through the entire prime of his career. Pacquiao and Top Rank didn't part on nasty terms or anything, and though Arum has publicly waffled on the idea of doing a Pacquiao Crawford, all of his most recent statements on the fight have shown he's certainly willing to make it happen, which most likely he always was. Which I don't agree with. I don't think he always wanted that fight to happen. I think he knew Pacquiao was leaving, and he did what he had to do to keep that belt. And he didn't want to risk Terrence Crawford to Manny Pacquiao, which I don't think, if they would have fought back then, I don't think it would have killed Crawford's career if Pacquiao would have beat him. But I think it would have set him back a little bit. I don't think it would have killed his career, though. Bobby Rick, Crawford is better than Spence, but Crawford hasn't fought anybody at welterweight, in my opinion. He needs to leave Top Rank. I mean, he really does need to leave Top Rank. LOL. Didn't want that fight to happen. He most certainly didn't want that fight to happen because, I mean, he had plenty of time to make it. They both were on there. They both were on Top Rank for a while before Manny Pacquiao left, and he just didn't make the fight. I guess he wanted to build it up a little bit more, and maybe he thought Pacquiao was gonna stick around a little longer than he actually did. And once Pacquiao finally slipped away, it was just too late for him. So I mean, he might not be a complete liar, but he didn't make it happen when he had the opportunity at all. We can all say that. This is a doubtable fight, but the money will have to be big. That can be achieved if there's a home for it overseas somewhere in the Middle East or perhaps Mecca, where Pacquiao fought Brandon Rios in not Mecca but Macau, where Manny Pacquiao fought Brandon Rios in 2013 and Chris Algieri in 2014, back when was keen to make Macau a massive money player in the sport. That didn't work out as he'd hoped then, but if the money is there right now, anywhere can be in play. I mean, it's possible for him to fight Terrence Crawford. I think it would work better. I don't know why he doesn't mention taking it to the Philippines. I mean, that fight was completely sell out in the Philippines. I think they would want it more on a neutral ground as far as Bob Arum and Terrence Crawford, but you know that fight would do big numbers in the Philippines, huge numbers in the Philippines. I think it would do big numbers in America. And so I know one thing. We can say one thing. Wherever Manny Pacquiao's fighting, it's probably not gonna be overseas, because he's already in California. He's already in America training. So I wouldn't say that he would fly all the way here just to fly to another country and start training. So we can I think lay our head on wherever Pacquiao's fighting is going to be within the U.S. borders. So I think you can pretty much cancel out anything in Macau or overseas. Wherever he's fighting is going to probably be here. Bob Arum can afford it. He's going to have a purse bid and let Al Heyman win it. Didn't want his future cash cow to face his old cash cow. Yeah, I think when he found out that Manny Pacquiao was on his way out, he was like, no way, I'm going to put him in the ring and possibly give my best fighter a defeat. Because at the time, Lomachenko was just creeping up on her. He was just making his rise in the sport. Teofimo, he's just now making his stake and his claim. The biggest name on the top rank at that time at welterweight was Jeff Horn, and then Terrence Crawford moved up and he did his thing. So, it is what it is, man. Bob Arum is a funny guy. All right, so next they got Ryan Garcia. Obviously, this idea has had a lot of talk. 22-year-old lightweight rising star Garcia, 21-0-18, teased it in late January on the Julian and Jacoby show, and quickly it picked up steam with talks revealed to be legitimate just a few days later. But then it was floated that the idea could have been for an exhibition fight, which to me seems incredibly boring. With two active, fully licensed fighters, but there might be money in it still, and there would be money here. Recently, Golden Boy president Eric Gomez threw some cold water on the talk, saying the fight isn't going to happen and that there is nothing to talk about. There have still been reports that Garcia's team, manager, lawyer, etc. are talking about the fight, but Golden Boy don't seem interested, and trainer Eddie Riesnose has publicly stated he preferred Ryan to fight Gervonta Davis, who plans to return in June for whatever that's worth. So I'm taking it because I'm hearing a lot about Pacquiao fighting Davis. I'm hearing a lot about Ryan Garcia. Is Gervonta Davis's hand actually broke? Can anybody tell me? Casey Abel, you getting back to fishing this spring? I'm gonna try to get back on it, bro. It's some stuff coming, man. It's some stuff coming. It's just too, man. It's an ice storm going on outside right now. It's raining. It's ice storming. And it's supposed to drop like 10 inches of snow in the next couple of 5 or 10 inches of something crazy, man, in here in the next couple of days. So, probably won't be going outside too much here. But definitely in the springtime, summertime, be checking that out, Casey. I definitely got you. I got you. Bobby Rick, the problem with Crawford is he can't sell a damn Happy Meal to a kid. Spence sells out AT&T. There's levels to this game. Pay-per-view sales matter whether you like it or not. And I couldn't have said it better myself, man. The reason nobody takes Crawford serious is because he can't sell a fight. And until he can learn how to sell a fight himself, which he probably never will. He's 33 years old, man. It's not in his personality to be as rambunctious or out there in the public eye as Errol Spence or some other fighters are, and that he's 33 years old don't help. It's not gonna change. His personality is not gonna change at 33. So I don't ever see him being like a braggadocious guy who's gonna sell his own fight. It's gonna be up to Bob Arum to sell the fight, or Bob Arum to match him up with better opponents. He can't sell a fight because he don't match up with good opponents. Really, it's Bob Arum's fault. He's matching them up with the wrong type of fighters. You can't put Terrence Crawford in there with lackluster fighters and think, that's going to sell on pay-per-view. It might have worked back in the day. It don't work now. They got to switch their strategy up. What PBC's doing is working, but it's working against them when it comes to pay-per-view. Yeah, because everybody who likes PBC likes them because they give away their fights. They put them on free TV. They put pay-per-view fights on free TV. And then when they want to sell a pay-per-view, none of the people who like your promotional banner are going to buy your pay-per-view because they're used to you giving them these good fights for free. Why would I go buy a pay-per-view from you when you're giving me free content? You're giving me just as good fights on free TV, and then you want me to buy your pay-per-view. It's backwards. So the whole game is messed up right now. PBC has really messed the game up. They really ruined Bob Arum. I mean, this is what they wanted to do. They really ruined Bob Arum, basically by giving all those good fights away, and they've taken the pay-per-view crowd out of it by giving all those good fights away. So PBC can't really be mad when they can't sell pay-per-view. I mean, Errol Spence can sell pay-per-views, but the lower guys can't really sell pay-per-views. Terrence Crawford can't really sell pay-per-views. So it is what it is until they work out something like I was talking about the boxing tournament yesterday. You know, they should turn these divisions into tournaments so they can, you know, it'll be more appealing to fans, and the best fighters will have to fight each other. Until the best fighters have to fight each other at least once a year, you know, number one should have to fight number two at least once a year. It shouldn't be the same fight every year. You know, those positions should change often because it'll be a lot more competition, and guys will be willing to slug it out more if there was something to fight for. Let's check the chat. What boxer holds the record for the most fans at AT&T Stadium? Come on, man. That's too easy. I don't even want to answer that one. That's too easy. Lied. Jerry Jones brought those tickets. That's why he fight at AT&T. You know, all owners and promoters buy their own tickets, man. They buy thousands of their own tickets to their show because they give it away to boosters and people who promote. You know, it's a lot of people involved in the show, so they do buy tickets and give those tickets away to high-level people so you can fill up those seats. You know, you want celebrities in those seats, so certain celebrities are going to get free tickets. But at the same time, you got 55,000 people in the stadium. You're not giving away all those seats. You might give away a couple thousand, which they can't do now because of what's going on in the world. But you know, that's what promoters and people that own stadiums do. He owns the stadium, so he can give away as many free tickets as he wants. Mikey Garcia got Mexican fans, so stop it. Mikey Garcia do got Mexican fans. He brings a big Mexican fan base with him. That's not the problem with the Mikey fight, though. The problem with the Mikey fight is Manny Pacquiao is planning to return in April or May. From what I'm hearing, it'll probably be May 1st, which is Derby Day, Cinco de Mayo, however you say it. And it wouldn't be enough time for Mikey Garcia to get in shape. He's too out of shape to try to jump back in 2 months. And lose, I think it's like 30 pounds or 25 pounds he would have to lose in like 2 months to fight Manny Pacquiao. They said he weighs like 180 pounds right now. So he got a lot of work to do to get back where he needs to be. How would you manage Wilder's career to get him on top? Who would you make him fight next? Wilder got to go back to the gym, man. Wilder needs to take a year off. Stay in the gym for a full year. Get with Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, the guys with the best jab and the best footwork from the last generation of boxers. And just stay in the gym for about a year, man. Get his life back together, his head back together. Forget about that second fight, and then he can come back even better than he was, man. And until he does that, he's going to keep getting on in the papers and on the news and, you know, saying silly stuff instead of fighting people. As far as who he should fight next, I feel like he should take a year off, man. He should really take it. He should let this whole Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua thing play out. See who wins that fight, and then after that fight's over, he should make his decision. So go get in the gym until that's over with, and he should just wait till that fight's over with. I don't like the Mikey fight. Pac mauls him. I can see that happening. I don't. Especially with him being so out of shape, it wouldn't be a good fight, man. It wouldn't be a good fight because Mikey would come in weight drained, not because they made him make some weird catch weight, but because he's 180 pounds right now, and he got to lose like 30 or 40 pounds just to make weight. So Mikey's problem is tacos. It ain't that he don't want to fight Pacquiao. He like tacos too much. He just like tacos too much. When I saw him on Instagram yesterday, listen to me. I saw the news. The news broke for Manny Pacquiao, and he dropped that Twitter post. I saw that, and then right after I saw that, Mikey Garcia went live on Instagram, and he was going to buy some tacos. He was walking to the taco place. he got to the taco place. He knocked on the door, and they was closed, and he was mad. He was hot. So he was like, we're going to walk to the other taco place. So, that's Mikey Garcia's problem, man. He got to get his diet together. He's letting his diet rule his life right now, unfortunately. It would sell, though. I mean, I don't think it would sell, man. I don't think it would sell, especially now with Mikey being out of shape. It just wouldn't sell. Now Fury lives in his head rent free. I mean, that's what he got to get Fury out of his head, man. He gotta rebuild himself. He can't be thinking about Fury 20. He needs another fight, really, to get his head off of Fury. If he takes another fight, I think he should take a year off and rebuild himself. But if he gets another fight, maybe that'll take his mind off of Tyson Fury. He can't just sit around thinking about Tyson Fury all day. Do you think Khalid Plant overrated? Caleb? I don't know who that is, bro. I'll tell you the truth. I ain't sure. Tug UBS was good with you, bro. I don't know who that is, man. Be honest. But let's move on with this article. Alright, I know you might be groaning, but Pacquiao McGregor is worth more money than most fights Manny can do. Maybe more than all of them, and it also might be now or never. Pacquiao's 42 years old and is not going to be fighting much longer. It seems McGregor is 33 in July and may be fading as a top shelf fighter, even in his own sport. The chance that they're not going to be able to make this any hotter than it is now, even legitimately reduced from what it would have been signed in December, is very high, much more likely than not. If they're going to do it, the time might be now, and we know very well that Pacquiao has seriously wanted to do it. We don't know McGregor's current interest in the idea. He's been hot on it before, but he has potential business with Poirier still in the UFC, and he also retires every couple of months. Man, the Conor McGregor fight ain't happening. It ain't going. I don't know why. It would sell just because UFC fighters or fans would buy it, but it wouldn't. Boxing fans wouldn't buy it, and it would be a horrible matchup now that McGregor's leg is all messed up, and he's basically been exposed by Poirier. He needs to come back and beat Poirier, and by the time he does that, Pacquiao will probably be retired, man. That fight will be long gone. Nobody wants to see it anyway. Not boxing fans. Well, Wilder got to learn how to box. That jab and right hand all night gonna work. Not gonna work. If I just don't know. Wilder's problem is footwork. He don't use the jab right. He doesn't work off his jab. He just tries to stand toe to toe with a bigger fighter. And you can't just stand toe to toe with Tyson Fury. He's way too big to be trying to stand. That's why he was getting bopped all upside the head when he fought him the last time. He tried to stand toe to toe with Fury, and you can't do that. So I keep saying, hey, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Emmanuel Lewis, Stewart's not around anymore, but Lennox Lewis was taught by Emmanuel Stewart. He knows a lot of what Emmanuel Stewart taught him, so I'm pretty sure he still knows a lot of what. I hope he still knows a lot of what Emmanuel Stewart taught him. So I would feel like that would be the perfect guy for him to get with. I don't think Fury's as slick as people give him credit for. Fury's decent, but Fury's just a big guy, and people got to figure out how to fight him because he's big, and he's long. So you got to figure out how to get around his length. And then deal with the fact he's so heavy and he's gonna be leaning on you and running into you. So that's the main thing that I think Tyson Fury has working in his favor. As far as pure boxing skills, like he work. I don't feel like he's very talented as a pure boxer. He's just a big guy. Taking nothing away from him, To me, he's just a big guy. I think Anthony Joshua is gonna knock him out. I think Anthony Joshua was the most talented heavyweight out there personally. And if they fight, I think Joshua's gonna expose, because Joshua was more technical than Wilder is. Joshua's way more technical than Wilder is, and he's not just looking for the knockout punch. So he's gonna use different things to try to pick Fury apart than Wilder would. Herky jerky movement. Yeah, he's got a real weird. As far as Tyson Fury, he got a real weird style, man. He moves really, really funny. So, but it's gonna take a smart fighter, heavyweight, to figure that out. And a lot of those heavyweight guys, right now they're not really like Ali. They're not like thinking fighters. They're more of brute type fighters, knockout fighters, or they try to come in and bully you type fighters. I would put Wilder in that bully category. He tries to be a bully, but you can't bully a guy who's bigger and stronger than you are. I don't see why you would try to bully that guy. You got to fight that guy, or you got to get technical with that guy. Fury beats Joshua. I don't know, man. I think Fury's not as I think his talent level is going to get exposed. And Wilder exposed him in the first fight. He didn't do exactly what he was supposed to do. I think he won the first fight. He actually knocked Tyson Fury out. He got a long count. Tyson Fury beat him in the second one, so to me it's 1-1. But I think Anthony Joshua was going to build off of what Wilder did in that first fight, and he's gonna make it a really good fight. And I think you're gonna see why Tyson Fury is a little bit overrated when he fights Joshua. I think Joshua's a different level. He's on a different level than both of those guys, Fury and Wilder. I'm back. Pac says I'm back. Hey, Pac, are you? Who's the next fight, man? Are you the real Pacquiao? Nah, I'm just playing. Alright, let me finish this article up, man, so we can move on to the next one. Alright, they got Errol Spence Jr. One would figure that if Pacquiao wanted to fight Spence 27-0, 21 KO, he wouldn't have recently been moved to champion and recess by the WBA, which appears to be opening the door for Spence to fight the elevated Jordanius Ugas in a 3-belt unification. But Spence, 31, deserves mention at the very least, even if it's to say he honestly seems the least likely of the 5 specific names in the big bold letters were listening here. Pacquiao recently said Spence is too slow for what it's worth. He generally doesn't seem too interested in this fight, even though it was floated in 2019 after Spence beat Mikey Garcia at AT&T Stadium. I still don't understand how Mikey Garcia got that fight. I don't understand how he's ranked so high in the WBA. It's kind of surprising to me. I guess because he had so many titles in lower divisions. When you move up weight, I guess they based your ranking off how many titles you won or something. I don't know. But it don't seem right that Mikey Garcia moved up to 147 and got to jump over a lot of those names that were already there. So the Mikey fight, I would say no. They saying that the Spence fight is lesser of a chance because he has that opportunity to unify with Jordanius Ugas. But Ugas recently, I think, said that he doesn't want to fight Errol Spence anymore. He wants to focus on possibly fighting Keith Thurman. To me, I think Manny Pacquiao might have gotten Ugas' ear and might have floated that fight around to you guys as well. And the dollar signs around a Pacquiao fight are going to be much higher than the dollar signs around a Errol Spence fight. So I would say there was a higher chance now that Pacquiao fights you guys than there is that Pacquiao fights Errol Spence. That's just me personally. Ruiz needs a rematch. Yeah, but I think he got knocked out, didn't he? So I don't know, man. He might need to tune up first. But if Anthony Joshua make light work of Tyson Fury, maybe he'll get that rematch. He bringing a large fan base. Who you talking about bringing a large fan base? You talking about Errol Spence or Mikey Garcia? Next they got the dark horse pick. That dark horse pick, and this is crazy to me, man. They stopped talking now. He's back on EJ. Who you talking about? Gerald. Gerald. You talking about you guys? Is that who you talking about? That he's back on? He's talking about he stopped talking to Keith Thurman. Now he's back on the Errol Spence fight. Because the news is like changing every day. He said legacy, though. At this point, it might be Triple G. I mean, I would agree. If the biggest legacy fight he could have, besides going for that 9th division, would be Mayweather, Errol Spence, Crawford, Triple G, or Canelo. Those would be the biggest possible names he could go after. You guys. So you are talking about you guys. That's what I thought. Are you saying that he stopped talking to Keith Thurman? I wonder what would have broke them talks up. Maybe the money's not right. I guess the money wouldn't be right around the you guys Thurman fight. And plus Thurman been off too long. It's gonna take him too long to get back in shape. All right, so they got their dark horse pick, which is weird. I need somebody in the chat to answer me this question. Cause I heard that Gervonta Davis broke his hand. Does anybody know what's wrong with Gervonta Davis's hand? Can anybody tell me what's going on with Gervonta Davis's hand? Is his hand broken? Is it sprained? Or he just, he finally got it x-rayed and they said it's not broken? Bro, Mayweather won't fight him. Pac will KO all his planet. He's so, I just, I'm trying to figure out, because it's interesting about this Gervonta Davis fight. It's a fight I wouldn't think of. And I think it would be a legacy fight. It's not broken. So, there is a possibility of him fighting Gervonta Davis then. So, which is interesting, man. That they got him as the dark horse pick. Gervonta Tank Davis. I know it sounds crazy. It's definitely a wild card shot. But, man, have you been paying attention to boxing over the years? Crazy-ish. They said crazy-ish comes out of left field and happens more often than you might think. At first blush, once upon a time, it was Manny Pacquiao jumping up 2 divisions to fight Oscar De La Hoya. That was over 12 years ago now, and is such a famous thing that happened that we just sort of think, yeah, that happened now. But back then, it was a real whoa announcement. As mentioned, Davis, 24-0, 23 KOs, looks to set a return in June. Davis is a PBC guy and specifically is a Mayweather Promotions wild as it might have seemed some years back. Pacquiao and the Mayweather team got along pretty well. Anymore, I don't know why they put that. Tank wants to fight on pay-per-view. He doesn't seem to have a lot of pay-per-view quality options. Manny is one for sure. Yes, Tank fights at 130, 135, and Manny has been at 147 over a decade now. Tank isn't even a big body for his weight, but Manny was once at those weights too. This would also be a chance for Davis and Mayweather Promotions to slip in and steal the fight from Ryan Garcia, which might be really tempting, given there's no love lost between the Mayweather crew and Oscar De La Hoya. It's a long shot. It's a wild card. I wouldn't completely count it out. Interesting. Now that y'all told me, okay, his hand isn't broken, we did hear that Manny Pacquiao was talking to Floyd Mayweather. I know Mayweather ain't coming back. That's not going to happen. Could it possibly be that they were negotiating a Tank Davis fight and not a Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather fight? Very interesting, because if he was willing to fight Ryan Garcia, why wouldn't he be willing to fight Gervonta Davis? And he said legacy. I think it would be, does Davis hold belts at 135? I believe he hold, no, because Teofimo holds all the belts. So Davis can't hold any belts at 135. Does he hold belts at 130? Are there belts at 130 that he holds? Or does Teofimo got everything from 130 to 135? I think this fight is interesting. I think both guys are available. That's a horrible fight. He need to fight Bud. I agree. I just think for fans' sake, it would be an awesome fight. I think for fans' sake, it would be. I think fans would love that. Garfield's won. He holds one belt. What, at 130 or 135? Because I thought Tio had all them belts. Does he have? Is that why they saying Teofimo Lopez is not completely unified? It's because there's still one more belt out there that Gervonta Davis currently holds. If they're entertaining that Ryan Garcia fight, I would think that they would be entertaining that Gervonta Davis fight. I think it's a bigger fight than Ryan Garcia. It's a better fight than Ryan Garcia. I don't see Tank winning at all, but I would say it's a good matchup. He would give him a few good rounds, a few good sparring rounds, but Manny Pacquiao would probably knock Tank the F out. And I think it wouldn't happen at 130 or 35. It would have to happen at 140. Interesting, but I don't see it happening, man. It would be an interesting fight. I just don't. I don't believe in it much. Let's see if they got any other names on here. That was all the names that they mentioned. Hold on. They got one more. They got other options. Okay. Other options for Pacquiao. Here's some of the names that they got mentioned. This is according to SB Nation. They got, 2 belts, 135 and 130. So T.O. holds 2 belts at 135 and 130, or Gervonta holds 2 belts at 135 and 130. Ryan Garcia was selling that fight, nothing from the Pacquiao camp. I think Ryan Garcia was hyping that fight. He wasn't really selling it. Nobody took that fight seriously. Everybody was kind of laughing that fight off like, there's no way this is going to happen. Pacquiao would lose points for taking that fight. He was losing points for announcing the McGregor fight. When Ryan's name came up, it was making Pacquiao look even worse, which is why I think he's coming out now at this point and announcing his fight, who's going to be next, and who that he's in training, because Ryan was making him look bad. The stripping was making him look bad, and the McGregor talk was making him look bad. So he had to do something to kind of clean the situation up. And he's got Attar, or whatever his name is, Otter, as his manager. So he lost his belt. Tank lost his belt. Ryan Garcia, Tank. Okay, so Tank has 2 belts at 135 and 1 at 130. So I guess it wouldn't be that difficult for him to move up to 140 to face Pacquiao if he wanted to. Would it sell? Because Gervonta Davis is a new name. I don't see it selling on pay-per-view. Let's get into these honorable mentions. So they got Danny Garcia. With Garcia having repeatedly come up short in his biggest fights at 147, Porter, Thurman, Spence, it doesn't seem like Danny would be a great interest to Pacquiao at this point, which I completely agree. Like, what's the point of, he just got beat by Spence. What would be the point of Pacquiao trying to fight Danny Garcia right now? Did you check Pac-Man website yet? Nah, I haven't had an opportunity to do it, man. Not yet. It's true. All amateur boxing fight is not easy. I'll get you there, Alvin. I haven't checked that website yet, though, man. I'm going to try to go check it out before I go to sleep. So they got Mikey Garcia next. They got Amir Khan. Yo, but what if now Amir Khan finally got one of his top dream fights that elude him forever? Manny Pacquiao. Definitely not going to happen. He is lucky if he gets that Kell Brook fight. I think him and Brook should fight, and then they both should retire. That should be Khan's last fight, and that should be Brook's last fight. There's no need for Kine to go and get basically knocked out by Manny Pacquiao at the end, but knocked out pretty much by everybody else who he's faced up against. What do y'all think, man? Out of the names I mentioned so far, who do y'all think Pacquiao should actually face up with? You know, you had Gervonta Davis, you had Ryan Garcia, you had Amir Khan, you know, McGregor, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. We mentioned Tank Davis. You know, there's a lot of names floating around right now. Who so far do y'all think Amir Khan? Glass Jaw Khan. But you know what's funny though? Is if Manny Pacquiao fought Amir Khan and they took it to the Middle East, the fight would sell out. No lie, the fight would sell out. Amir Khan has a humongous fan base in the Middle East and in the EU. So the fans would come out to see Khan. You know, I'm not going to lie. The fans would. The fight would sell, and it would actually do good. It would do better pay-per-view numbers than a Mikey Garcia fight. It would do better pay-per-view numbers than a Ryan Garcia fight. It would probably do better pay-per-view numbers than the Conor McGregor fight as far as actual boxing fans. Maybe not as far. It would probably do about the same as a McGregor fight because McGregor has a lot of MMA fans that would actually pay for his fights. MMA fans actually buy pay-per-views. You mean R.I.P. Khan, but not a legacy fight. Now, it's not a legacy fight. I mean, he would make money off the fight, but it's not a legacy fight. Last time Khan fight in Middle East, they didn't even pay him. I heard about that, but I don't know how true it is. He seems like he gets his money when he fights, so I don't know how true it is, but it might be true. You know, I can't hate him. It's interesting, but I don't see that kind of fight happening. Amir Khan's almost laughable at this point. So far, who do y'all like so far? Is Errol Spence the top name right now? Because right now, out of all the names I mentioned, I think Spence is the top name out of everybody. Spence and then Crawford. I think Crawford's more likely to happen to Spence because Spence is really going for that unification fight with Jordanus, you guys. It's up to you guys right now. And the only reason I keep mentioning that you guys fight is because Pacquiao can get that belt back pretty easily. It would add to his legacy because he could say, I beat another champion. You know, I did beat another champion, and I think that's good for Pacquiao. He deserves to fight another champion, man. And he deserves another shot at the championship. You know, he got his belt taken away unjustly, and he deserves another shot at the championship. So, to me, that's a pretty good fight for Pacquiao. Will it happen? Will fans pay big money to watch it? Maybe not big money. It could probably be a $50, $60 pay-per-view, though. And, you know, they might do 100,000 buys, 200,000 buys. It's pretty good for, you know, what's going on right now. So, me personally, I feel like that fight could happen, man. It could happen. It potentially happen. As far as the you guys fight goes. So, let's move on. The next name they got is Shawn Showtime Porter. You know, and I brought up Porter's name a couple of times myself. I think that's a good fight for Pacquiao. It could possibly happen. Is that the best fight out there? No, but it's a good substitute if he can't get Crawford or Spence to fight him. Porter wants the Pacquiao fight, feeling he has the best chance of anyone to beat Manny. Styles do make fights, and Porter's relentless aggression and elite tier engine really might be a lot for an aged Pacquiao to deal with anymore. I actually think this is a great fight, but I don't see it happening. What do y'all think about a potential fight with Shawn Porter? Y'all see Shawn Porter giving Pacquiao a pretty good fight? Or do you think that, you know, Pacquiao's out of Porter's league? Me personally, I think it's a pretty good fight. You know, I think it can happen. I think Porter is a good fighter, man. I think he does have a high motor, but I think them guys already got it on in sparring. And Pacquiao, from what I heard, got with him in sparring. From what I heard, Pacquiao kind of got with him in sparring. So there's a few other names that Pacquiao sparred with and actually fought. So last time Khan fought him. Okay, I did that. Triple G, Spence, Canelo. I would agree with that, man. I think for legacy, Triple G, Spence, and Canelo would be the best names for him to go after as far as his legacy goes. Do you agree Ryan Garcia fight welterweight but not popular boxer? I think Ryan Garcia, I think De La Hoya and the other guy who runs Ryan Garcia, who manages Ryan Garcia's career, are trying to put him in the best position to have a long career, because a guy like Garcia can easily become really unpopular if he takes a loss. A lot of his popularity is based off the fact that he's Instagram famous and that he has no losses yet, and he hasn't lost bad. And he almost got knocked out in that last fight, so it could have ended really bad in that last fight. I think that's why Oscar De La Hoya and his trainer are not entertaining that Pacquiao fight, because if he got, clipped that hard by why can't I think of this guy's names right now? But he got clipped in that last fight. Pacquiao would have for sure put him to sleep. So I think that's why they pulled out of that why they're pulling out of that Pacquiao fight. Porter can't bring fans to a bar. You saying he don't bring paper plates to a barbecue? Is that what you saying, Bashar? He don't bring the Kool-Aid to the family picnic? Ah, man, he's silly. I think he brings the fight, though. I think it depends. There could be a situation, because here's what people's not thinking about, too. Was the Adrian Broner fight, wasn't that on free TV? Wasn't Pacquiao Broner on ESPN? That was on free TV, wasn't it? And I think the Keith Thurman fight was on pay-per-view, but I think the Luke Campbell, I always forget his name, Luke Campbell. Wasn't that? I believe that the Adrian Broner fight was on ESPN. Can anybody correct me if I'm wrong? And I think what people are not thinking about is Manny Pacquiao's next fight might not be a pay-per-view fight. He might not actually be fighting on pay-per-view. Are you sure that was I know the Keith Thurman fight was on pay-per-view, but was the Adrian Broner fight on pay-per-view? I remember watching both. Both of them were okay. It just seems like that fight was on free TV. I don't know why it seemed like that fight was on free TV. Because I recorded the Keith Thurman fight, but I didn't record the Adrian Broner fight. False. He says false. Okay, so it wasn't. Both of them was on pay-per-view. So I don't know. His next fight might not be on pay-per-view, though. I think it's a bad matchup for Pac-Man to fight Porter right now. He has a good stamina and also aggressive, and Pac hasn't fought for 2 years. It could end bad, man. It could end bad for Pacquiao, that one. But they've already sparred, so he knows pretty much what. Okay, everybody's saying pay-per-view, so that both of those fights was on pay-per-view. It could end bad because, but here's the thing: Pacquiao knows Porter's style because they've already sparred, and I don't think he's bringing anything new to the table that that Pacquiao hasn't seen. So I feel like the Porter fight, it would be a decent fight. I don't see him hurting Pacquiao because Pacquiao kind of knows what to look for, being that they sparred each other in the past. It was years ago, but they sparred each other in the past. So I don't think it's as dangerous as a you guys fight would be. I think you guys is a serious wild horse because nobody knows what he's bringing to the table. I've seen him fight. I think he's really talented, but a lot of people don't know what you guys is actually bringing to the table. And maybe Pacquiao, if he fought him, would overlook him. I think Errol Spence is in for a pretty decent fight. If Errol Spence ends up getting that fight, I think you're going to see you guys bring the fight to him, unlike Danny Garcia. Danny didn't really bring the fight to him. I'm hearing Terrence versus Shawn, which leaves Earl, Mikey, Ryan for Pacquiao. Ryan definitely ain't happening. Mikey ain't happening. Earl is a long shot because of the you guys situation. So I'm thinking those three names, Shawn Porter, is, I actually all four of those names could be out in the running because I did hear Terrence was negotiating with Porter, but the Pacquiao fight's a bigger fight for Terrence. It's a bigger fight for Porter. So I think both of those guys would look past each other to go fight Pacquiao if it was on the table. It gotta be on pay-per-view. They gotta pay Pacquiao some way, and not too many fans can attend. So who? So that's true. So I think you might be right about this. It's gotta be on pay-per-view. Depends though. They could have fans. Now if they take it to Florida, Texas, and they do it in an outside stadium, they could have fans there. If they take it overseas, which I don't think they're gonna take it overseas, since Manny Pacquiao's already in the U.S., I don't think they're gonna risk him flying back out and maybe catching something. It would leave the door open to me for Terrence Crawford, Shawn Porter, Triple G. I think those three, and Yadanius, you guys. I keep throwing you guys in there because I don't know how interested Pacquiao is about getting that belt back. That might be his whole reasoning for announcing the things right now, is he wants that belt back, and he can legitimately get it back. Pacquiao. Here's the thing about Manny Pacquiao, and I do think there's a chance for him to do something for his legacy if he plans 2 fights. He could take a low-tier fight as his return fight, a warm-up fight, and then do a big fight as his legacy fight. And we know Pacquiao's willing to fight anybody. He came back and he fought Matisse, got his belt. He got a belt back. He came back, he fought Algieri, he got a belt. Nobody wanted to see him fight Algieri, but he came back and he fought Algieri because he had to. He came back, he fought Matisse. Then nobody wanted to see him fight Matisse, but the Matisse fight happened, and he knocked him out. It's possible for Pacquiao to actually fight a lower tier fighter if there's something in it for him, and there is something in it for him, which is his getting that belt back. And for legacy, he could say, "Hey, I'm a such and such time champion now." However many times of a champion he is at the moment, he could say, "Hey, I got one more." If Manny fight, okay, you guys know legacy fight either. You guys, it is and it isn't. It's not as big as a Triple G fight or a Canelo fight or anything, but beating you guys would say he beat another champion. It would add to his legacy. He could say, if he beat 15 champions right now, he could say, "Hey, I beat 17 champions in my career." So it would add a little bit to his legacy. It wouldn't be as big as fighting Spence or Mayweather or Canelo or Triple G, but it would add a little bit to his legacy. Not as much as those other fights, though. Hi, Cardinal Red, just joined. Hope you're having a good day. Shroom, what's good, bro? I'm hanging in there, man. How about yourself, man? Appreciate you coming back through. Who's your pick, man? So far, who's your pick? There's too many fighters to choose from. The anticipation is too much for me. I'm getting sick of waiting around to find out who Pacquiao's gonna fight, man. I want him to announce that news like right now, man. But I think you guys does add just a little bit to his legacy. He can just say, "Hey, if he beats, like I said, 17 champions, you beat you guys, you beat 18 champions." So it adds something to the legacy. Plus, he holds that belt again, puts him right back in position for a unification fight. But that's about all he gains from fighting you guys. All right, let me move on to my last article that I was going to reference. I had a few more names on that list. Okay, it was Keith Thurman. So I don't want to forget about Thurman. This would be a rematch of Pacquiao's last fight, July 2019, when that took Thurman's oath. Thurman also hasn't fought since he's expressed interest in the rematch, but COVID may have wrecked his best chance at getting it. Thurman may be been there, done that territory for Manny Pacquiao at this point. Like I said, yes, I really don't see why he would fight Thurman again. Thurman's a big draw. People like Thurman. I think there's people that would tune in for it, but it would be a tune-up if he plans on fighting twice this year. It'd be a decent tune-up for Spence or Crawford if that's his plan. But I would say there's a very low likeliness of him fighting Thurman again. I think the same thing would happen. And being that Thurman has been out for another year, I'm just not too keen on that fight actually happening, man. And the last name that they have, of course, my guy, your guy, the new WBA champion, your Dana is you guys. Doesn't seem like a big enough fight to interest Pacquiao, probably even less than Garcia or Porter. If Pacquiao wanted to fight you guys again, he wouldn't have been removed to champion and recessed, and you guys elevated by the WBA. Now, I disagree with that because I don't think Pacquiao didn't want to fight you guys. I think his Senate duties were keeping him from fighting you guys, and that's why the fight just never happened. And it just so happened that the WBA stripped him right before he was ready to announce a fight. And I think actually this gives more incentive for the you guys fight to happen now that he's had his belt stripped. It would give him a reason to actually go fight you guys now and get his belt back. Will it happen? I don't know. Is there a lot of fan interest around that fight? I doubt it. But the fan interest can be built. Look, Manny Pacquiao is going to bring people in. It doesn't matter who. He can go in there and fight a midget with one arm, and people are going to watch it because it's Manny Pacquiao. But I think since he did mention that word legacy, there's going to be bigger names to pop up when he does announce that fight than some of these names that we're mentioning. These are not legendary names, but because of the situation with that belt, legacy can mean a lot of things at this point. Thurman doesn't deserve it. He definitely don't deserve it. He hasn't done anything in the sport in 2 years. I guess, some fans might say the same thing about Pacquiao. He hasn't done anything in the sport in 2 years. But Pacquiao has shown improved over almost 30 years of boxing. He belongs. And Thurman just hasn't been campaigning that long. So, Pacquiao's career is longer than some of these guys almost longer than some of these guys have been alive. It's kind of ridiculous that we even talking about Pacquiao fighting these guys, but he still has talent, and his talent almost supersedes every fighter that is out there at this point. So we're going to have to wait and see who is actually going to be. I got one more article I want to reference, and it is from WBN. Big legacy enhancing news coming soon from Senator Manny Pacquiao. The Pac-Man has been subject of rumors denied by manager AHAT over the past few months. Pacquiao is now on the brink of coming to his next opponent. Pacquiao said when outlining camp movements and his intentions to attain further accolades, training camp has begun. I'm ready to get back in the ring to further add to my legacy in the sport of boxing. Big news coming soon, he added. Pacquiao's words seem a little more upbeat than AHAT's recent comments. The Paradigm Sports representative went off the deep end in a recent frustrated rant. He stated the boxing industry has a history of shady characters. These individuals introduce confusion and spread false rumors solely for their interests. Unfortunately, this only ends up hurting the fighters. It has come to our attention that some of these individuals are once again spreading false and inaccurate rumors. These rumors are self-serving without the authority of Senator Pacquiao or Paradigm Sports. Senator Pacquiao engaged Paradigm Sports as his exclusive representative last year because he wants to close out the final chapter of his historic boxing career in meaningful way. Manny Pacquiao's future. I'm gonna stop right there for a second. And you know who he's talking about. When he's saying that, he's talking directly to Ryan Garcia. He's talking directly to Ryan Garcia, and basically he's seeming frustrated because I feel like they might have reached out to Ryan for something, but I think they wanted him to keep quiet, and they're dealing with a really young guy who took that news, and he was, I guess, so excited about it he couldn't help but to just start telling everybody. And that might have really messed some things up for Paradigm and Pacquiao. So, that's a direct shot at Ryan. And if you read in between the lines, that Ryan fight, it ain't happening no more, man. That's completely off the table now. If you didn't watch last night, they already sent Ryan Garcia a cease and desist letter. If you don't know what a cease and desist letter is, that means shut up or you're going to be sued. And if you're wondering why Ryan Garcia has stopped talking, is because they sent him their letter. Either you shut up or we're going to sue you. And we know Pacquiao will sue you. He just asked Floyd Mayweather. All right, so Manny Pacquiao future. It's still not known what AHAT was aiming fire at as he continued. No one outside of Paradigm Sports is involved in any way with the management of Senator Pacquiao's boxing career at this time. Anyone falsely representing themselves as Senator Pacquiao's manager or representative as it relates to his remaining fight career may face legal repercussions. Despite the negativity Pacquiao has lost lots to fight for at the age of 43. Opinions include Ryan and Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Bud Crawford, and a couple of big-name UFC stars. Khabib Nagagagabaga and Conor McGregor remain at the table should Pacquiao hang up his boxing gloves and head into a full exhibition mode. Rival Floyd Mayweather has already done something similar. Who knows if they will meet again on the newly formed circuit. Very interesting, man. So, if you, like I said, man, if you can read between the lines, that Ryan Garcia fight ain't happening. And if you send a cease and desist letter to a boxing team, they're not going to deal with you no more. Because that's a direct threat that we will sue you because we don't like what you're doing. And a lot of people don't like being threatened, man. So I would seriously, and you already know Oscar De La Hoya don't really like Manny Pacquiao because he beat him up. So I don't think Oscar De La Hoya will be dealing with Manny Pacquiao as far as a fight goes anytime soon. Clout, baby, straight up, man. Do you agree Manny one priority defense since Lucas fight until Thurman fight? He fought Lucas. He fought Lucas. He fought, was it Lucas Thurman? No, he fought Lucas, Broner, Thurman. So those was his last 3 fights. I believe Thurman, I think, was a title defense for that WBA. And then Keith Thurman, he was challenging for that super title. He won that super title. I agree. His priority is always the best fight out there. I don't think Pacquiao ever doesn't want to take the best fight that's out there. To me, he's going to go for the best thing that's on the table. Whoever's available, whoever's bringing the biggest dollars, whoever has the biggest name at that point. It's a possibility he might fight Floyd Mayweather again. Floyd Mayweather's been real quiet since that whole Jake Paul or Logan Paul, whichever the Pauls he was supposed to fight. Root Paul, one of the Pauls. I don't know which Paul it was. It was one of them Pauls, but he's been a little quiet since that happened, so I don't know who he's aiming for. It's possible he might go for Mayweather. I think that would be a huge add to his legacy. If they could settle the score finally, look, put it this way: if he fights Mayweather next, that's it. That's all she wrote. that's the end of Pacquiao's career. He's not gonna fight anymore after that. I think that if he fights Floyd and loses again, it's over anyway. Nobody's gonna give him any credit if he fights Floyd again and loses. So if he does get a fight with Floyd and that's the end of his career if he loses. If he fights Floyd again and beats him decisively, sky's the limit for Pacquiao after that. I think you're gonna hear a lot of people come calling to want to fight Pacquiao. The Canelos, the Triple G's, the Spences, the Crawfords. They're gonna be banging this man's door down to try to get some of them dollars associated with him. So it's possible it could be Floyd Mayweather next. It would be a long shot, but hey, anything's possible in 2021. I never believed in the world I'd be forced to stay at home and do nothing all day. I mean, defensive fight, not defense championships. I guess you mean defending fight, not defending championships. But I agree with what you're saying, man. I understand what you're saying. But let's move on a little bit, man. Let's have an open conversation here, man, for a little while since I got through all my articles. Appreciate everybody for coming through, man. If you're in here right now, man, you ain't hit that like button, go on and Pacquiao that like button for me. So we can get some more people in here, man. Open the conversation up a little bit more. So who do y'all think, man? So far, it's been 2 days since Pacquiao dropped the news. Hasn't said who he's going to fight yet. Who y'all think has the best opportunity to fight Manny Pacquiao next? Would it be Canelo, Triple G, Mayweather, Spence, Crawford? Out of those 5 names, those are the top names out there, the best names he could possibly face up with, the biggest money fights and the biggest legacy fights. If Pacquiao loses in his next fight, it will be his end. It will be the end of his career, man. It's going to be over with. It depends on how he loses, though. If he gets done like Tim Bradley, I think people will give him another shot. They will give him another shot to fight again. But if he loses like Marquez, it's definitely over. If he goes down like Marquez. If he loses like he did to Floyd, he might get another shot. People might give him another chance. But I think boxing, the boxing world will come down really hard on him. It just depends on how he goes down, really. He definitely can't get done like Marquez again, or it's over. I would agree that, he doesn't need to be fighting anymore if he gets Marquez again. But I don't see that ever happening to Pacquiao again. I just don't. I don't think he will ever make that mistake in his career again. If Pacquiao, okay, I got to that one. All right, so let me know, y'all, who y'all got, man. We got Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, got Canelo, we got Triple G, and we got Floyd Mayweather. If you want to talk legacy, those are the names you got to talk about. The question is, when do you think he's going to let us know who he's going to fight? I think it'll come this week. What day this week? I'm not sure, but I think we'll hear something this week. He might not announce the opponent, but I think he might announce the fight date and the venue and stuff like that. He just might not announce I think they're trying to build up a little more, blind interest into the fight. Get people really excited about his return, and that way they can just drop that news. It's got to be something big if they holding on to it. What good, King? What's good, Caps, man? What's good, bro? I appreciate you coming through, man. Always good to see you up in here. In my opinion, I do not want Floyd versus Manny, to be honest with you. Manny legacy fight Crawford and Spence. If it's about money and it's about legacy, now let's remember this. Pacquiao came back out of retirement for one reason, and one reason only. It was to fight Floyd Mayweather. It had nothing to do with Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford. It had nothing to do with Canelo. It had nothing to do with Triple G. He came back for one reason. He said, I want a rematch with Floyd Mayweather Jr. And I'm going to try my best to stick around the sport until I get that rematch. And to him, I think that's the only thing that would define his legacy, is to get that rematch and to beat Floyd Mayweather. So in my mind, when he uses those words, and then with all this talk that popped up last week about Floyd getting that offer, I think that there's more than a 50% chance that it's going to be Floyd Mayweather. I think there's more than a 50% chance it's going to be Floyd Mayweather. Simply because he did use that word legacy. I don't want it to be Floyd Mayweather. I would much rather it be Crawford or Spence. But because he did say, hey, this is something that's going to add to my legacy, and he did say when he came back into the sport after he took that little retirement, I'm only coming back to fight Floyd. You know, he was only coming back to try to pursue a Floyd fight. I don't think that's the reason he went to PBC, but I do think that was the reason he came back. And perhaps, you know, this is his last shot at Floyd because maybe this is his last fight on PBC. So, hey, maybe that's his cash out fight from PBC. Personally, like I said, if he fights Floyd and loses again, it's over. You know, it's over. You know, it's all for the legacy at that point. Win or lose, it's all legacy. Let's see what y'all saying. If Pac is excited, I think it might be Floyd. Because of the way all this is working out, and then that May date being open, it's looking a little bit like it might be Floyd. With that Cinco de Mayo date being open and everything that's going on in the world, the Jake Paul fight or Root Paul, whoever Paul he was going to fight, you know, there's a big possibility it's Floyd. And the fact that they're being so quiet about this, there's a real possibility it might be Floyd. I hope it's not, because if it is Floyd, that means it's over with after that. This is the last Pacquiao fight. And I don't want this to be the last Pacquiao. I want at least 2 more Pacquiao fights, and then I'll be happy to say, you know what, Manny, you've done it all. Go ahead and retire, man. I'll be happy with that. If he fights Floyd next, I'm gonna be real disappointed, man. I'll be disappointed in the fact that that's the last Pacquiao. I know that's the last Pacquiao fight. If he gets Floyd and beats him, I'll be happy for him. You know, he did accomplish his goal when he came back into the sport, which was to get that Floyd fight and to beat him. But I would be disappointed, like, man, it's actually over. No, it's actually over. No more Pacquiao. Floyd, money, 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 money smiles Mayweather. Hey, Bobby Rick, it's looking like it might be Floyd Mayweather, man. It really, I really want to talk up, but listen, I keep talking about Yadanius you guys because if he fights you guys, that means he is gonna fight again. He's only fighting you guys to get that belt back and put himself back in that unification talk. If he fights Crawford or Spence, I think if he fights Crawford or Spence, he'll fight twice. If he fights Floyd, it's over. It's definitely over. Too bad Floyd chasing 50 Cent. Hey, man, 50 Cent can breathe on Floyd Mayweather and knock him out. If Floyd fights Pac and when Floyd loses, then you better believe it's going to be a trilogy. Interesting. I think they would do it for the money. It could possibly be a trilogy if Pacquiao wins. But if he loses, I know it's over. You know, I know it's over. It's over. But you know what's funny about that? You saying that trilogy? If he does fight Floyd Mayweather and beats him, they're going to make huge money off that. Bigger than any Terrence Crawford fight, bigger than any Errol Spence fight, bigger than any Canelo fight, you know. And then if they do it again in a trilogy, oh boy, the dollar signs are going to be ridiculous. You're talking about maybe $1 trillion over a 2-year span that, you know, might be made off of those 2 fights. So it's a huge possibility for Pacquiao. If he's talking about cashing out, that's the one. That's the one fight other than Canelo or Triple G. That's the one fight he should be leaning on. And if it's for legacy, what better to add to your legacy to say the biggest fight of your career that you lost the first time, you got to avenge it, you know, come back and avenge it. Other than him beating Crawford and Spence, what would be better than that? I think Pacquiao talking about negotiating with everybody is just a build-up, and if he drops Floyd's name, I would understand how he built up the fight on his end. Wow. I'm saying it would be ridiculous, man. The fanfare that would be around that fight would be. You thought the first one there was fanfare around the first one? Oh boy, man, the fact that Floyd's been off for so long, and the fact that Pacquiao has been dominant, maybe not over the past year, but the past 3 fights has been dominant. There would be so much fanfare around that fight, it would be ridiculous. Floyd not letting that happen. His ego is too big. LOL. He just going to cheat again with his IV, and of course he home in Vegas, where he pays the judges, and that's another thing. Like I just said, if wherever Pacquiao fighting, it's probably gonna be in the U.S. He's already in California. He's not too far from Las Vegas already. I don't think Pacquiao's gonna leave it up to the judges this time though. It's not gonna get left up to the judges this time. Somebody's getting knocked out. If them 2 guys get it on again, somebody's getting knocked out. Believe me when I say it. It's not going to get left up to Floyd. Listen, if Floyd agrees to do this, to come back, believe me, he's going for the knockout. Because he's not going to let fans have he's not going to let fans have them talk down towards him the way they've been doing over the past few years about that first fight. Believe me, he's going to go for the knockout. I think both of these guys will be going for the gusto in that fight. If it happens, if it happens. I don't think, if they both agree to it, you're going to see some fireworks in that fight. They're going to put on a show. Floyd not coming back. Floyd wants exhibitions fight, though. We'll have to see, man. Something big is being worked on behind the scenes because Pacquiao's not one really for keeping secrets. I don't know too many other times Pacquiao was like, hey, we're not going to announce. Other than what's been going on with Ryan Garcia, I don't remember other times where Pacquiao's been like trying to keep his fight secret or who he's facing up with next. Because he'll fight anybody, basically. Floyd is scared. Fight Manny in professional boxing match. I know majority of people wants Floyd versus Manny, but that fight is a waste of time. Listen, when it comes to legacy, Pacquiao kind of needs that fight. He needs that fight to redeem himself. And to me, when he threw that word in there for legacy, I didn't catch it at first. I was thinking too big. I was thinking Triple G, Canelo, and it didn't. My eyes didn't directly connect with Floyd Mayweather, but now they are kind of. I'm kind of seeing the bigger picture with that fight now. I think it might be actually Floyd now because, listen, Manny Pacquiao simply came back to fight Floyd Mayweather. He didn't come back because Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford were making a name for themselves in the sport. He didn't come back chasing Canelo. He didn't come back chasing Triple G. He came back and said, I'm here because I want to fight Floyd Mayweather. I want my rematch. I was injured the first time. That's all I want. I'm going to try to stick around the sport until I get that. And that's exactly what he's done. And when he dropped those words, hey, I'm doing this for my legacy, I felt like, okay, well, he's trying to do something big, something super big, but you got to put your eyes straight to Triple G or Canelo. But now that I'm thinking about it, what is bigger for his legacy than getting that Floyd fight back? There's nothing else bigger for his legacy besides beating Triple G or Canelo than getting that Floyd fight back. Hello, brother. John Passon, what's cracking, bro? How you doing, man? Good to see you again, bro. Everybody, 23 people in here right now. Can I please get at least 23 likes, man? If we can possibly get it there, man. Get a few more people in the chat before I get out of here. We've been out here about an hour and a half. I actually realized I didn't turn some stuff on on the live stream when I got about an hour into it. But, hey, it is what it is, man. So we're going to roll with this. I enjoy this, man. If everybody enjoys when I go live, man, and you like the way we do this live boxing talk, please hit the like button if you haven't, or drop me a comment right now and say we enjoy Cardinal Red's live streams. That way, it'll let me know I'll do this at least once a day, for you guys. If I can get three people to say we like your live streams, then I'll continue to do this at least once a day, man. I actually enjoy doing this more than I do making videos. I'm sitting here by myself, just thinking and editing when I'm doing videos. But this is way more interactive, and I like the way it keeps the flow of the conversation going. So appreciate you guys for coming through, man. Okay, let's get back to these comments. Yeah, legacy is a key word that means Mikey Garcia out of the picture. Makes you think. I'm saying it didn't really register to me at first when he said that legacy word. I just assumed jumped straight to the biggest money fight out there, which would have been Canelo or Triple G. And I kind of glanced over Floyd Mayweather because he's been retired for so long and he keeps doing these exhibition fights. But it makes a lot of sense if you just think about it. Floyd Mayweather would be the one thing, the one asterisk, big asterisk. All the other losses that Manny Pacquiao's taken besides the Marquez, and the Marquez fight really doesn't put a black eye on his career. He got caught with a good punch. I'm going to say this too. You can't take anything away from Juan Manuel Marquez for landing that punch, okay? Let's not give Marquez credit for landing one of the craziest punches in boxing history. Did I want to see him land that punch? No. Was it a lucky punch? Yes. Was Pacquiao about to break his face apart if he didn't land that punch? Yes. I think it was a scared punch more than it was an accurate punch that he threw, and it was just the most perfect punch of anybody's career ever. But, I'm still not going to take anything away from Marquez. He got the victory. More power to Marquez. And the same way for Floyd, okay? In my eyes, Floyd lost the Maypac fight. He lost. Pacquiao did more. He won. On the record books, Floyd Mayweather won. Okay, and that's an asterisk on Manny Pacquiao's boxing career. It's a bad asterisk because everybody and their mama thought Pacquiao would dominate Floyd. And unlike the Marquez fight, he can, which actually throws something else into my mind, but I'm going to mention that in a few minutes. Unlike the Marquez fight, I don't believe he can get the Marquez fight back. Floyd is still a possibility. If the dollar signs are right, we know Floyd will fight you. If the dollar signs are right, Floyd will fight you. But will it happen? Will Floyd risk Pacquiao getting that fight back? Because the same way it redeems Pacquiao's legacy and builds more onto his career, it destroys Floyd Mayweather's career at the same time if Floyd Mayweather loses. Unless he does a trilogy like my man mentioned earlier. Now, if he does a trilogy, it's not going to hurt as bad, but he will have lost that O. But for Pacquiao, I think that's the most important fight to his legacy. If you're talking about legacy, what's more important than Manny Pacquiao's legacy than getting that Floyd Mayweather fight back? And mentioning that Marquez fight, actually, if he could get that Marquez fight back, it would add to his legacy. Does people want to see Pacquiao fight Marquez again? I don't know. But I will say this. Manny Pacquiao, in an interview about 2 weeks ago in the Philippines, said that there were some fighters from Canada, there was fighters from Mexico, there was Errol Spence, there was Terrence Crawford, and there was Mikey Garcia. Those were the specific names he mentioned. I don't think he had any intention of actually fighting Conor McGregor as his first fight back. I think that was just talk. And I think you should have picked up on that when Conor McGregor did his interview and he said, no, we're not planning that as Pacquiao's next fight. We're actually planning that for the end of the year. So he actually could still fight Conor McGregor in an exhibition later. But I don't think the interest is going to be around that fight like it would have been if McGregor didn't get knocked out. He can still fight Dustin Poirier again and maybe win, but I doubt he'll win. But I don't know who those fighters are in Canada. I don't know who he's talking about. I'm trying to figure it out myself. But he did mention Mexico. And Mikey Garcia is an American Mexican. Marquez, I believe, is from Mexico. So maybe he's been negotiating with Marquez behind the scenes. Marquez is not a big money fight, but it does give him that fight back on his legacy from when he got knocked out. So when he talks legacy, I would have to think of what fights would build to his legacy, and what fights did he lose that took from his legacy that he could possibly get back. Those are the only two that you can bring up. Mayweather and Marquez. Those are the two fights that took away from his legacy that he could actually build onto his legacy if he got those fights back. What could build his legacy even more is to beat Triple G or Canelo, go for that 9th division, and that would build even more to his legacy. Or defeating one of or both of Spence and Crawford, that could add to his legacy. But I think the biggest thing for Manny Pacquiao as far as legacy is that Mayweather fight. I don't think he cares about those belts. He's held every belt from 107 pounds to 147 pounds. He's held every belt, I believe, every belt from every meaningful belt from 107 pounds. I believe that's where he started winning titles, to 147 pounds. I don't think those belts mean anything to him anymore at this point. I think that one fight, that Mayweather fight, is what means the most to him. That Mayweather rematch is what means the most to Manny Pacquiao. And if you put 2 and 2 together, hey, it's really looking like that Mayweather fight might be next. Let me get to this chat, man. I done left y'all hanging in the chat for a couple minutes. Went on a little rant there. Juan Pass says, glad to see you too. I appreciate that, brother. Glad to see you, man. Hope everything's well with you and your fam, bro. If Floyd come out to fight Pacquiao, you gonna see everybody at the boxing match, just like the days of old. Politicians, movie stars, athletes, you name it, they will be there. I completely agree with you. And I think, hey, legacy, money at the same time. He could go for legacy and money at the same time, redeem himself, and effing retire. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to say it like, he should effing retire, but, Pacquiao shouldn't have to keep going through this every year. We shouldn't be having to say, hey, he should go fight these young guys at a discounted rate just to please us as fans. No, he should be going after the biggest money fight, and that fight that has the biggest asterisk on his boxing career was that Floyd Mayweather fight. Since he can't get that Marquez too scared to come out of retirement to give him his fight back. Those two guys are the biggest black eye on Pacquiao's career. And if he can get at least one of those back, I think that would be exactly what he meant by I'm adding to my legacy. Other than a Canelo Triple G fight. You got to think about it. None of these other names, besides Spence and Crawford, because they hold those titles. If they didn't hold those titles, Spence and Crawford would be nobodies at this point. Pacquiao wouldn't be talking about them. He would have never talked about them. He wasn't talking about them until you never heard Pacquiao mention Errol Spence's name one time till he went to the PBC. He didn't care about that Errol Spence fight. He didn't even talk about Terrence Crawford, and he was right there next to him. Only thing he was focused on was getting that Floyd Mayweather rematch. And to me, when he mentions legacy, you got to go straight to that Floyd Mayweather rematch. That's got to be the fight you're thinking about. Hey, there's got to be something going on behind the scenes here, and something humongous, because they're keeping it quiet. Why are y'all keeping it quiet? It's just a fight. It's going to happen. We're going to find out, why are you keeping this such a big secret? There's got to be something humongous is in the works. And if y'all remember, I told y'all a couple of videos ago, PBC, Al Heyman, and the guys over there said that they were planning a huge event with Pacquiao's name headlining. So, we could be getting something once in a lifetime. We might mess around and get Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Errol Spence Crawford on the undercard. Something super crazy like that. Think about that. Think about a Maypac fight with Spence Crawford on the undercard. How many millions of pay-per-view buys would that do? I'm thinking out of the box now, because that's the reason they're keeping this quiet. Has got to be something ridiculous in the works. I don't see another reason why they'd be keeping this quiet like they are. Caps and Full G said, we like your live streams. I appreciate you, Caps, man. I love it when you're on here with me, man. It gives me another brain to bounce ideas off of, man. I don't just feel like I'm sitting here talking to myself. That's why I like having you guys comment in the chats and, hit the like button, because that lets me know if I said something you guys liked it, or if you drop me a comment, lets me know I'm heading in the right direction, or I'm saying something you guys agree with at least. David Dorado, man, it's been a long time since I seen you. I know your thumbnail picture, man. I know that picture. You've been around for a long time, bro. Good to see you. I appreciate you coming through the live. His last fight will be in the Philippines. Now, I've heard him say this before. David, you're in the Philippines, right? I believe you're in the Philippines. So, could you let us know, are things open enough in the Philippines to where if Pacquiao does fight over there, that they can have a full venue? Can they fill up a stadium in the Philippines right now, or is everything locked down over there and they're only allowing 10 to 15,000 people within a 20 to 30,000 seat stadium? Pac says, we like your live streams. I appreciate that, my brother. I appreciate it. Try to keep it interactive, man. Patrick Carter, we like your live stream. All right, man. I got 3 of them. I appreciate that, y'all. So I'm going to try to do this at least once a day, man. Until Pacquiao announces his fight, I'm going to try to drop a live at least once a day. And you know what? Being that this is becoming so popular so quickly, I didn't think it was going to take off that fast. I might actually flip my show into a live show and stop doing the actual recorded videos. If this keeps going as well as it's going, I don't see a point in me even making videos anymore. I can do everything I'm doing in the videos in the live stream, pretty much. So it could possibly flip into a live show here really soon if you guys enjoy it that much, man. Let's move on. Caps, you gotta step up your live stream with Red too, bro. Hey, Caps, set up your live stream with Red too. Hey, we trying to get it together, man. I've tried a couple of times, and obviously I didn't do enough research or behind the scenes work to get it going right. Cause we did it once, and I had some problems with my audio. We did it again, and I didn't set it up right, so we had to shut it down. Hopefully Caps will get his lives going on his own channel, and we can actually get our lives going together again, man. Here pretty soon. We're trying to get it together. Hopefully it'll be really soon. We can get back on here. Maybe we'll get to announce the Pacquiao news together. We'll see here. Patrick says I don't know what you mean. We like you. I guess that's okay. He put we like tour live streams. You like tour live? We're gonna take this live stream on tour just for you, Patrick. We're going on tour, baby. Mayweather just ran and Child clinched the whole fight. Boring. I mean, that's true. He's gonna have to do something different this time around, because I think Pacquiao will knock him out if he tries that stuff again. Pacquiao was hurt, if you ask me, in the first fight, and that was the reason he didn't do more. I still felt like with one arm he won the fight, but you can't argue with what's on the record books, man. Just like we won the championship and they took our championship away, we still won the championship right here. Unfortunately for Manny Pacquiao, it is what it is, man. Only thing he can do is try to get a rematch and continue to pursue that rematch. They can take it away from you, but hey, like I said, we won that championship, so it is what it is. If Tyson does $100 million with Evander, bet Floyd coming back with a trilogy, making an easy $500 million. It could, if they do 2 fights, he can easily make $500 million. That'd be $1 trillion. Both of them would make $1 trillion easily. It might make more than that. Patrick Carter, I do. 9 divisions, world champion. It's possible, man. That would be. I'm not sure if that's a bigger fight or if it's on the same level as Pacquiao. I think it's a bigger fight if he wins. If he comes back and conquers 9 divisions, that's historic. It's historic stuff, man. It's stuff that's never going to be broken. I mean, his 8 divisions is never going to be broken. But 9 divisions is freaking it's unheard of, man. This is stuff, not even superheroes in the sport have accomplished, like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Marciano. You know, those, not even those superhero names of boxing have accomplished the things Manny Pacquiao has accomplished. So you know, it would be bigger than legacy and legendary. It would be something the life defining event if he came back and beat Triple G or Canelo. Man, you know, it would be one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Besides Jordan, watching Jordan win all those championships, I think that would be the most amazing thing I've ever seen in sports. Juan Zerval. Good day, bro. Watching from Nagaka, Japan. I can't even pronounce that, man. Japan. Well, I appreciate you, Juan Zerval. Man, I appreciate you for coming through, bro. I hope you subscribe, man. Hope to see a lot more of you, man. I'll be doing a lot more of these lives, so I hope we get to interact a whole lot more. I appreciate you for dropping that comment. Man, shouts out to Japan, bro. I've never been on an airplane. I've never been out of the country. It's amazing I get to reach all these people around the world, man. You know, people I probably never get to meet in real life. I get to interact with you guys over the internet, man. This is really exciting for me, man. And it's all because of Manny Pacquiao. So, you know, we shout out to Pacquiao and shout out to you, Juan Zerval, in Japan. Bro, send me a plane, not a plane ticket, send me a boat ticket, man. I'll sail over. I ain't getting on no airplanes. Legacy, Floyd rematch, new 9 record, division. That's a big task, man, to do both of those. That's asking a little much. But he did say he's going to fight twice. So, it might happen. Keep up the great work, Red. Your stocks are going up, fam. I'm going to tap in again when you're live again. Shalom. I appreciate you, necessary, man. You know, I always enjoy you coming through. You always like the first one to come through. So I know you got that notification turned on, man. Appreciate that, brother, man. If you out of here, man, have a good night, bro. Stay safe, man. Hope to see you again. Patrick Carter, I want to go. Yeah, I want to go myself, man. I'm locked down like everybody else, so you know we all trying to get out of here. I can't wait for the summertime, man. It's hard enough being locked down, but then you know you locked down and it's cold outside. It's like prison. Not really, man. Not really. You know, shout out to anybody in prison, man. I feel sorry for you right now. Red Room Live Talk, Patrick Carter. I appreciate you, bro. Trying to make it interesting for you guys, man. So, you know, I'm probably going to stay on here for another 15 minutes, man. So we can chop it up about whatever y'all want to talk about for the next 15 minutes, and I'm probably going to get off of her. So, if it is Floyd Mayweather, what do y'all think about that? If it's actually Mayweather, do you guys agree with that fight? Do you think that should be the fight that Pacquiao picks? I mean, it's legendary. It makes a lot of money. It may not be no belts involved, but he gets to get that. He gets to get his L back if he wins. So, do you guys agree with Pacquiao taking that fight? If it is Floyd Mayweather, would you be mad? Would you happy? Glad? You know, man, it's gonna be another boring fight. What would you actually think if it is actually Mayweather? I want to hear everybody's opinion. Because me personally, I feel like, hey, if it's Mayweather, the fight might be. I think Pacquiao wouldn't approach it the same way. So I don't see it being boring. I think Pacquiao's coming in swinging. He's gonna try to take Floyd's head off, and I think he actually, you know, I feel like he won the first one, so I don't see why with 2 strong arms he can't win the second one, and possibly take Floyd down, you know, in the process, man. I think he really should be linked. I mean, and not to mention the fact that Floyd is over there at PBC. You know, it wouldn't be hard for them to make that fight. He's right there with Floyd, you know, so if he wanted to make it, he can definitely make that fight. I don't see why it would be hard to make. But I definitely want to hear y'all comments and input on should Pacquiao actually fight that fight next? Would that be the one? Would you be mad if that is the one? Would you be mad if he picks Floyd over Crawford or Spence Jr.? And what about if he doesn't fight Spence Jr. or Crawford? Period. What if he fights twice, and neither one of those fights is Crawford or Spence? Bobby Rick says Pac's shoulder was jacked. That's why he didn't come out swinging to take his head off instead of box. Yeah, he did, and that was the wrong strategy he came out with. But like I said, it could have been because of his arm, that he took that strategy. But what's crazy is I still think he won the fight. I still think he outboxed Floyd, but because Floyd got the nod or whatever, you can't go against the record books. It is what it is. But for legacy, getting that fight back would mean, I think, the world to Manny Pacquiao. It would mean the world to him to get that fight back. Even if he lost, I think it would satisfy something in him to know he got a second shot at it. I think it's eating away at him a little bit that fight ended the way it did, and that Floyd Mayweather gets to kind of gloat off such a horrible fight. I think that, it was his whole motivation for coming back. Spence first, Floyd last. That makes sense, but the problem with that is if he fights Spence or Crawford, he only should fight them if it's a unification, if it's for all the titles. He shouldn't be fighting one for one title or the other one for two titles. He should be fighting one or the other for all the titles. That should be the way it plays out. And then it would make sense for him to fight Floyd. And I really see Floyd coming out of the woodworks to try to get all those titles for Pacquiao. And it would make that Floyd Mayweather fight even bigger if he managed to get all those belts. Which is why I really want him to go after Yordanius. Because if he goes after Yordanius and gets that you guys fight, it leaves the door open for Spence and Crawford to fight each other. It's why I don't want Spence to fight. If Spence fights you guys, you're never going to see Spence and Crawford fight unless Crawford comes to the PBC. And if Crawford plans to stay with Bob Arum, the only way for them two guys to be forced to get it on is the other fights that they potentially have to be grabbed up by other fighters. So if Crawford is talking about fighting Porter, somebody else has to get that Porter fight. So Crawford is forced to look deeper at that Spence fight. And if Spence is talking about fighting you guys, Pacquiao needs to pick that you guys fight up, so it forces Spence to look deeper into that Crawford fight. Kind of forces those guys to fight each other. And if Pacquiao beats you guys, then he can just take the winner of the Spence-Crawford fight. He doesn't have to fight both of those guys. That's the way for him to not have to fight both of those guys. So if he's going after those titles, he shouldn't be fighting Spence and Crawford. He should be fighting Spence or Crawford for all the titles. It would be crazy for him to take on both of those guys, and neither one of them want to fight each other. They keep on making this excuse up about dollar signs. Get out of here, man, with that. That whole argument kind of makes me sick about the money, because you're going to make so much more money. Whoever the winner is going to make so much more money. It shouldn't matter what you actually fought each other for, because both guys are going to make huge dollars after the fight's over with. Pac, main event, Maypac, co-main event, Bud Spence, Freddie versus Atlas is the preliminary. Hey, man, that would be such... Oh, my God. That would be... I think I'd be more entertained by the Freddie Roach-Teddy Atlas fight than I would be the other two fights. I wouldn't even care. If you sign that Freddie Roach-Teddy Atlas fight, I don't even want to see Pacquiao fight no more. I'm more interested in this Roach-Atlas fight than I am in seeing Pacquiao fight again. I think that's the most interesting fight of the year. Forget Tyson Fury. Forget Wilder. Nobody cares about Canelo or Triple G. Spence and Pacquiao and Crawford are washed up. We are demanding Freddie Roach call out Teddy Atlas. We, the boxing world, want to see Freddie Roach KO Teddy Atlas this year. We got to see it happen in 2021. I'm putting my $20 up. Who else got $20 to see Freddie Roach fight so we can sponsor this Freddie Roach Teddy Atlas fight, man. Bobby Rick said Pac can beat Spence easily unless Pac gas is out or they left Spence fight like Jeff Horn. Pac wins easily versus Spence. I think his speed is too much for Spence. But we're going to have to see, man. Is Spence willing to actually fight Pac? Terrence Crawford and Spence, they got to man up eventually, man. One of these guys got to man up. And they either got to fight each other or one of them's going to have to fight Pacquiao before he retires. You know, somebody's got to make some money. One of them better make some money off of that fight before it's no longer there. If neither one of them fights him, it shows the sad state of boxing, man. Bobby Rick, shake my head. I really hope we get Crawford versus Spence in their primes and not wait 10 years past their primes like Pac and Mayweather did. That's what I hate about boxing. Too much politics. That's what I'm saying, man. They need to make these tournaments, man. They need to make the top 4 fighters should be fighting in a tournament at least once a year. You know, and that way you can have one unified champion. The top 4 guys would always have to fight each other, and you would actually know who is the best in a specific division. Right now, we don't know who the best is because the belts are all spread out. Look at the middleweight division. It seems like everybody got a belt in the middleweight division. You don't even know who's a champion in some of these divisions because there's so many belts, and everybody has a belt. So, you know, you got guys out there with absolutely no name behind them, but they hold a belt in a specific division. So, you know, it's kind of ridiculous. It needs to happen. It needs to happen soon so it fixes the sport. Shake my head. I really hope we get... Okay, I read that one. Bro, I think Manny Pacquiao is fighting Mikey Garcia. The Mikey fight's not happening, bro. I'm telling you, Mikey Garcia is way too out of shape to be trying to fight Manny Pacquiao in 2 months. It's not happening. And believe me, that the Pacquiao fight's happening in 2 months. He wouldn't be starting training camp now if he's going to fight in July. No fighter does 12 weeks worth of training. You know, no fighter trains for that long. It's called overtraining yourself. So it's no way Mikey Garcia can get back in shape inside of 8 or 9 weeks. I don't see him losing 30 pounds in 8 or 9 weeks. I'm really saying that I think there's a better chance of him fighting Ryan than Mikey. Mikey's not a legacy fight. And also there's that, but I think the fact that Mikey's so out of shape is the reason you're not. It could have been Mikey, but even Mikey Garcia is admitting himself that he's too out of shape to be fighting right now. He said it's going to take him a couple of months just to get the feeling of wanting to fight again. He said he doesn't even feel like he wants to fight right now. So you can pretty much throw that Mikey Garcia fight away. I hate to say it, but it's not going to happen. It would have been an okay fight a year ago, but, you know, with Mikey Garcia, he just kind of laid around for a year, man. So, it's, you know, Mikey has all about the big bucks. You know, it would make money. I'm not saying it wouldn't. It would make more money than Ryan Garcia, but it's not going to happen because of his weight issue right now. Because if he does fight Manny Pacquiao, he's going to be so weight drained when he does fight him that it's not even going to be a good fight. You're talking about somebody dropping almost 40 pounds in less than 2 months. That's almost unheard of, man. And, you know, Broner dropped 30, but he did it over like a 3-month span. So, a 3 or 4 month span. So, you know, it's really hard for you to drop weight that fast and then give a good fight. Yeah, so I would count Mikey out of it. I would count Mikey out and Ryan out. Q says Crawford versus Porter has been active. I like you know, that's a good fight, man. That's a pretty good fight. But if Porter gets that fight, then that takes that Crawford fight off the table for Manny. So it means Manny's not fighting Crawford. And then if he's not fighting Crawford, we know Spence is going after you guys, so that means he's not going to get the you guys fight. He's not going to get the Spence fight. What other fighters left out there? What other fighters out there that's a legacy fight other than Floyd, Triple G, or Canelo? Because it definitely ain't Ryan Garcia or Mikey Garcia. So if that Porter fight gets signed, if that you guys fight gets signed, then you know Pacquiao Mayweather is a go. Maypac's a go. If over the next week or over the next few days you see anything about Crawford Porter getting signed, or you guys Spence getting signed, you know that Maypac fight's a go, man. It's either May or it's Triple G with a sprinkle of Canelo in her. He can lose 30 pounds if he smoke. You smoke some green crack. That might help him. Oh, no. He gonna start eating more tacos. He smoked some green crack. Yeah, he need the real thing if he want to drop 30 pounds in 2 months, in 8 weeks. That just ain't gonna happen, man. That Ryan fight, that Mikey fight ain't happening, bro. Unfortunately, it ain't happening. Caps in full G say yes. Hey, man, he needs the real thing if he want to lose some weight. Yeah, that green crack, that's going to have him about 300 pounds in 2 months. He going to come there into the Pacquiao fight looking like Tyson Fury. Juan said, but he's only eating burritos and tacos. Hey, man, because it was so fun. It was so funny when, man, it was so funny when I got out his laugh. And he went to the taco place and started knocking out. If you can see if you saw what I saw, you saw pure frustration on his face when the taco place was closed. You saw a very angry fat man when the taco place was closed. All right, we're gonna leave Mikey Garcia alone, man. He likes food, man. And he can afford to eat. So, hey, if I had Mikey Garcia money, I might be 180 pounds. I'm not going to hate Mikey Garcia. Burritos are delicious, and so are tacos. I want some nachos right now. Somebody send me a plate. Please. Please, no Taco Bell. I want the real thing. Send me the real thing. Only thing I eat from Taco Bell is the cinnamon twist. Man, that is funny though, man. Because if you would have saw what I saw on Mikey Garcia's face when he knocked on that window, that he was hungry, man. Put it that way. He wasn't playing about the tacos. Oh man, I can't stop laughing now. This is y'all fault. We trying to be serious about boxing over here, man. Y'all are making jokes about Mikey Garcia's eating problem. Man. Alright, so I'm gonna stay out here for about another 10 minutes, man. Man, about another 10 minutes, man. I'm getting off here, man. Y'all done made me hungry. I might go here and make me some turkey tacos now that I think about it or something, man. I'm hungry. Alright, so we've come to the conclusion that there's a possibility that his announcement might be the Mayweather rematch. If you ask me, there's a huge possibility we're going to see a Mayweather rematch coming up here pretty soon. Because if you guys and Spence fight, if Crawford and Porter fight, the Triple G fight's a long shot. It could happen, but it's a long shot. But, there's a really good possibility that the money's finally right for the Maypac rematch. So hopefully that's what we're gonna get, man. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Let me know if that's a good enough fight for y'all. If after 2 years of waiting, is the Maypac fight a good enough fight for y'all? Or y'all really want to see Pacquiao take on Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford more than seeing that Mayweather rematch? Juan says, Patrick said, be like Dave Chappelle on his show. Hey man, it was comedy, man. You could tell he likes some tacos, man. And if you get a real taco is not compared to Taco Bell, man. You can't compare a real taco. I can imagine Damn, Caps, you had to do that, man. I appreciate you, Caps. Caps in full G, man. Caps in full G. We got a Caps commercial about to drop right now. Y'all go check out Caps in full G's channel, man. He's a real one. He's a great YouTuber, man. He's up and coming, getting a lot of views. Loves Pacquiao. Always supports Pacquiao fans and Pacquiao channels, man. Does great boxing commentary. So everybody who's in here right now, if you got a minute or two today, at least go check out Caps' channel. Hit that subscribe button. And then when you got some time, go check him out, man. He's a real one, man. I appreciate that again, Caps, man. You always come through and look out for a brother, man. I really, really, really appreciate you, bro. Can't wait to get on another live with you, man. Patrick Carter says Taco Tuesday and Mikey Garcia edition. And that's Mikey's problem, man. He ain't gonna never be a 147 champion. He keep on eating, man. They gotta take Mikey out of California so they give him away from them tacos. They gotta take Mikey to like Kansas or North Dakota, somewhere where it's cold and horrible, and all he can do is train. He needs to take Deontay Wilder with him. So Deontay Wilder needs a mental break, and Mikey Garcia needs a taco break. Yeah, both of them guys need to be in middle of nowhere, Arkansas right now, or Nebraska somewhere, man, sitting down. Pac-Man versus 3M, Mayweather, Marquez, McGregor for last hurrah. Crawford and Spence duck each other. Two great dodgers. Hey, it would be pretty interesting if he did get Marquez and... Hey, what if he fought Marquez first and then fought Mayweather and then fought McGregor to retire? Would that be good enough for y'all? Because he can at least get those two fights back, and then he get his big cash out fight at the end. Even though that Mayweather fight is going to be huge dollars, the Marquez fight might do huge dollars because he still has a Mexican fan base. So it's possible. I mean, it would be legacy. If he got both of those fights back, it would be for his legacy. And, you know, those would be two fights that I would say are within his age bracket, at least. He's fighting two fighters around his own age instead of being forced to fight young guys who refuse to fight each other. So, you know, it would make money. That whole little trilogy, Mayweather, Marquez, McGregor would make money. Now coming to the ring, the heavyweight Mikey the Taco. Hey, man. And he might as well go ahead and move up to middleweight or heavyweight. If he's going to stay 100, he's already 180 pounds. He might as well go ahead and fight Canelo next. He might as well. He's already up there. You know, might as well stay 180 pounds. Go ahead and fight Canelo next. Who wins that fight? Mikey Garcia versus Canelo Alvarez, 175 pounds. Mikey at least loses 5 pounds. He can at least lose 5 pounds over the next 3 months. So 175 pounds, Canelo Alvarez versus Mikey Garcia. Who you got? I got Canelo hitting Mikey so hard he throws up a he throws up a nacho plate. Throws up a nacho plate in the ring, man. It's gonna be the first time you ever see a boxer throw up in the ring. Oh man. Y'all done turned the laugh all upside down, all on top of itself, man. This has become a comedy show. This is Red Room comedy now. Garcia seeing oh man, you know when you laugh so much the back of your head started to hurt. I'm starting to get the back of my head starting to hurt. Oh man, all right, man, let's be serious for the last few minutes of this, man. I'm gonna get out of here. It's been 2 hours, man. This is so enjoyable. This is so much more. Y'all don't understand. Caps and Full G would understand. He could tell you, man, this is way more enjoyable than sitting around talking to yourself, talking to a camera. You know, I get to show, you know, you just get to show your personality. Everybody get to be themselves, man. It's a lot less formal than trying to make a YouTube video. It's very hard to be serious when you're talking to your camera. It's hard to convey personality when you're just talking to your camera. Captain Full G said they offered 100 million. They offered what? I know you're not trying to say they offered him $100 million to Marquez. $100 million to Marquez, and he still said no to a Pacquiao fight. Remember? Are you saying $100 million? Are you serious? They offered. Wow. Trist 805. Man, I appreciate that, bro. LOL, when you said he needs to go to. I mean, he does, though. Him, man. And Deontay Wilder should be his bodyguard. They both need to be out there. And they need to be in a fenced-in compound. So Deontay Wilder can't get around no cameras or reporters. And Mikey Garcia can stay at least 10 to 15 miles away from any taco stands. So them guys can get back in the ring, man. These guys, Mikey Garcia has a serious eating problem, man. He needs help. And Deontay Wilder has a talking problem. His mouth never stops running. And y'all done made me, so I'm supposed to be giving Trist 805 a commercial right now because he dropped me something in the super chat, man. I appreciate Trist 805, man. If you got a channel, I want y'all to go check out Trist 805, man. He dropped a comment. He also dropped something in the super chat. Really appreciate that, man. You guys don't have to do that. It almost leaves me speechless when I see people actually donate to the channel, man, because y'all really don't have to do that. You and Caps, man, I really, really, really appreciate you guys, and I will pay it forward at some point in the future, man. Believe me, I will pay it forward, man. Any way I can, as soon as I can help you guys out with anything, hey, just hit me up. Trist 805. If he has a YouTube channel, if you go to his YouTube channel and subscribe, and he don't got no videos, just keep going back and leaving comments wherever you can put them till he put a video up. So, hey, we gonna make Trist 805 put a video out, man. You gotta do when Pacquiao come out, man, you gotta do a video for us, Trist 805, man. Once again, Trist 805, and I hope I'm saying your name right, bro. I appreciate that. You and Caps and Full G, man. Real talk, man. Real people, man. Appreciate that. I appreciate everybody for coming through, but when y'all donate, makes me speechless, man. Makes me speechless. Can't believe it. Geraldo said 100 mil. Wow, $100 million. That should let you know something about Pacquiao's talent level. If you don't want $100 million, and that should let you know something about legacy. About that fight and legacy, that fight and that win means something more to Marquez than money. You can't give that man $100 million to take that victory back. You know what I'm saying? So he knows he's gonna get beat if they fight again. Hell, he was gonna get beat if he didn't hit Pacquiao with that scared punch. He was gonna get beat. So $100 million is a lot of money to be turning down. Hey, if somebody offered me $10,000, I probably go fight one, man. I probably go fight Marquez tomorrow, man, without no training for $100,000. He gonna knock me through the ropes. He gonna Martin me into the wall. But I'm gonna go get me an Escalade. As soon as I wake up, you're gonna see me on YouTube again. I'm gonna be live streaming for my new Escalade with my black eye. I don't really care about the black eye. I got 100,000. Got 100,000 for a black eye and to be unconscious for a few hours. But that should let you know something about legacy to Juan Manuel Marquez. That fight means more to him than $100 million, man. That's crazy. Patrick Carter said Canelo would be legendary, man. Would be beyond legendary if he actually does fight Canelo. Would actually be a bigger fight than the Mayweather fight as far as dollar signs go. Maybe not as far as Pacquiao redeeming himself, but it would if a belt is on the line, it's definitely a bigger fight than that Mayweather fight because it would mean that 9th division. Manuel L. Morora. Manuel L. Morora. Would you consider Pacquiao versus Ryan Garcia a legacy fight, bro? Not at all, Manuel. Not at all, man. I think that fight is a farce. I think the only person interested in that fight was Ryan Garcia. Yeah, they might have offered him something, but I think it was just some fishing bait, just to see what's down there in the water. Is there some catfish down there, or is it nothing but bluegills down there? And what they caught with Ryan Garcia was a bluegill. They didn't catch a catfish. They were just I think they were fishing with that fight. Yeah, that's true. They did offer him that amount of money. That's absolutely insane. Captain Fools G said yes, 100 million. That is completely insane. That, but that, like I said, man, that should let you know something about Marquez, man, and his and what he believes that meant to him as far as legacy. So, what do you think that loss meant to Pacquiao as far as if that fight and that win meant more than $100 million to Marquez? What do you think that loss means to Pacquiao, and what getting that loss back would mean to Pacquiao? Patrick Carter, Mikey Garcia versus Butterbean. That would be an awesome fight, man. They could have a belly bouncing competition. And I think Mikey might actually get with him, because Butterbean, after the first belly bounce, is gonna have a heart attack. Butterbean got to be 60 now, man. He weigh like 400 pounds, so I don't think he needs to be moving too fast ever again. You know, so I don't know. Mikey might get with him. I think Butterbean got a better chance of fighting Teddy Atlas. I take Butterbean to knock out Atlas. Once again, nobody's gonna put up $20 to see Freddie Roach versus. I asked y'all if y'all got 20, so we can promote this Freddie Roach versus Teddy Atlas fight, man. I'm trying to see this one go down, man, for the end of the year. I think if we can get $700 together, we can put the. If we get $700 together, we can put that fight together. I think they'll do it for $700 flat, man. For real though. Tris 805. Nah, I don't have a channel. I'm just a fan. I appreciate that, bro. But hopefully, man, we can get you to do some content, man. If you do some content, come back through, man. Let me know you put something out, and I'm gonna see if I can get some people to come your way, bro. We support everybody over here. Everybody's voice matters over here, man. Dialdo Dielfo says, I don't know if he was offered that, but I do know he said something along the lines of, I won't rematch even for 100 million. Marquez's words. Very interesting. Like I said, man, I should just let you know. They fought, 4 times? And it took him 4 times to do that to Pacquiao. I think Pacquiao got he beat him once and got 2 word. No, they fought 3 times. It was either 3 or 4. I think Pacquiao beat him twice. He beat him once and got a word decision out of one of them. So that fight means a lot to Marquez, man. It means a whole lot to Marquez. He finally got what he wanted, you know. He was on top of the world for a few minutes. Captain Full G, it was a joke when put all those O's. I'm looking at all them O's like, whoa. They offered him how much money? Like, damn, Jesus. I don't even think Pacquiao's worth that much. Guillermo Marquez. It would be interesting if Marquez did come back. I don't know what Marquez has left in the tank. Marquez ain't been in a professional ring. Was Pacquiao his last fight? Was Pacquiao Marquez's last fight? Was that knockout the last time we saw Marquez in a boxing ring? It would have been almost what? That happened in 2014? That was almost 10 years ago. So it would have been almost 10 years since Marquez's fought. I don't know what Marquez would actually bring to the table. I think it would be a seriously easy win for Pacquiao. I don't know what that CLP stands for. I guess compilation Buckhead videos from 2011. That's it. Buckhead, you in Atlanta? You're in Atlanta, Trist 805. Buckhead, I know where that's at. I've been there before. Captain Full G, he broke Marquez's nose in that last fight. Yeah, he was about to knock Marquez the F out, man, until, the scared punch that shook the world up. He landed that scared punch, and yeah, he floored Pacquiao, man. I was so surprised when I saw that. When I saw it actually happen, I was like, whoa. Because, he was beating the F out of Marquez. And that punch, it came out of nowhere, man. It shook the whole world. A lot of people was watching that fight. And I think it was the most shocking thing that happened that year. 2013, okay. So it had been it had been 9 years since Marquez's fought. Cap said 63 rounds total. It's crazy, man. It took 63 rounds for that to happen. Pacquiao beat his monkey ass for 62 straight rounds. Think about that. That's how frustrated Marquez was with Pacquiao. He had to fight him for 63 rounds and finally get that scared punch to land for him to go away. And he went. You know what's crazy? He went away after that. Apparently, he went straight away after that fight. So he got what he wanted out of that. I think he fought Bradley after that too. You know what? You might be right. I think he did fight Bradley right after that. Because I think Bradley... So Pacquiao fought Bradley before Marquez. So was Pacquiao Bradley one before the Marquez fight? Patrick Carter, 2 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss for Pacquiao in 4 fights. So it was 4 fights. I can't remember exactly how many it had been. I know he got those 2 wins, and he got that weird draw that everybody say he actually lost, but it could have been a split decision or whatever. Bradley, then Alvarado was his last fight. Okay. So he had 2 more. So it had been like 8 years, 6 years or something since Marquez actually fight. Marquez versus Bradley, Captain Full G, 42 rounds. So was that up until the word draw, that 1 draw? So it was 42 rounds until that 1 draw. But 8 years is a long time to be inactive to try to come back and fight Pacquiao. I don't think he would have much success fighting Pacquiao after 8 years. He would probably get floored the same way he floored Pacquiao within 1 or 2 rounds. And I don't think Pacquiao will hold back on him, being that he did knock his face into the dirt. So I don't think Pacquiao would hold back on Marquez just because he's been out of the ring for 8 years. All right, y'all, man. If y'all got any more questions, it's been 2 hours. I think I'm going to get ready to get off here, man. Give me something to eat. It's 12 o'clock. It's the bewitching hour. I need to find me something to eat. And I got a bill I need to pay I forgot about. It just reminded me I got to go pay this bill real fast. So drop your final comments, final thoughts, man. I appreciate everybody for coming through. You know, the new names I saw on here. Let me roll through here. We had Tristan 805 came through. That was a new name. We had let me see. Who else did we have? We had Manuel Almarara. I hope I'm saying your name right. He came through. That was a new name. We had Quinn came through. That was a new name. We had who else came through? Was a new name. Juan Zervo came through. That was a new name. Man, we had quite a few people hit the chat today, man. I appreciate everybody for coming through. I think it was everybody who was new who came through, man. And I appreciate everybody for coming through, man. Definitely, once again, real talk, man. Tris805, man. Support that man. You know, go watch all his videos. I'm going to come check you out myself as soon as I get a chance. He said he makes comps of Buckhead. So... You never told me. Are you in the A, bro? Check his channel out, man. Shouts out to you for that super chat and Caps and Full G, my homie, the big homie, man. Caps and Full G, a real one, man. Can't wait to do a video with you again. Y'all go support his channel. He definitely does make boxing talk and Pacquiao content and other great content, man. So go check him out. If you got any other questions, man, drop them now before I get out of here. Sorry about that. Yeah, 4 fights. 42 rounds, 4 fights. absolutely insane, man. It took him that long to pull that off. And actually, that Pacquiao was able to beat him up. So I think they went 4 rounds or 5 rounds in that last fight. So it took him 38. It took him like 37 rounds to do that to Pacquiao. They had to fight for like 30-something rounds. You know, Pacquiao dominated him for 30-something rounds, which is crazy. Guillermo Dielfo said, great show, man. I appreciate that, man. Patrick Carter said the draw was the first. So the draw was the first fight. I haven't watched it in a long time, so I can't be exactly 100% accurate trying to remember back that far, man. Pacquiao's career has spanned so many years, man, and so many amazing fights. It's hard to even explain. Eat some taco. This is gonna be one of my most memorable lives ever, man, because the taco jokes was classic, man. I think my next thumbnail, I'm gonna have Mikey Garcia eat the taco with it. Okay, you're in California. So White, what's with the Buckhead? Is there a Buckhead in or is that Buckethead? Okay, I make Buckethead vids. What is Buckethead? If you could tell. I thought it was Buckhead. I thought that was an Atlanta thing. I'm sorry. I know you know what Buckhead's at. Buckethead videos. What exactly is Buckethead? You gotta let me know. I'm interested in this now. I'm willing to stick around for a few minutes to find out about this. You know what, better yet, Tris? That's gonna force me to go to your channel and find out what you all about, man. So is a good guitar artist. Oh, okay. I'm gonna definitely have to check that out, man. I'm gonna check you out, man, when I get off of here, bro. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out. How long you been in part of California you in? I gotta make it out to Cali one day, man. I always said I'm gonna go to Chicago and then I'm gonna go to Cali. I've been wanting to go to Cali, man. Cali a wild place. Would be nice if I could get out there for that fight, but I don't think it's gonna happen this year. Not with all this stuff going on. All right, man. Drop your final comments. We about to get out of here, brother. I appreciate y'all 14 for sticking around with me this long, man. It's been fun. It's time to go get my Mikey Garcia on. Maybe I can find me a lady for the night. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll find me a lady. Southern Cali, Ventura. That's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. Would love to see it, man. I know it's warmer out there than it is up here right now. So, man, appreciate you for coming through, bro, supporting the channel, dropping that super chat. Go check his channel out, please, y'all. Force this man to make more videos, man. Get this man motivated to get a little bit of this YouTube money, man. And everybody in here, man, you know, there's nothing wrong with pursuing a dream. You know, if you want to do some boxing talk, you start your channel, man. I'm definitely in support of you, bro. I'll come by and check you out anytime. Just let me know whenever you start making videos. It's your boy Cardinal Red for now. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Once again, shout out to Caps in Full G. Go check his channel out. Shout out to Trist805 for those super chats. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to get my Mikey Garcia on. See you guys mañana.